What if the scandal you thought was about a star's fall from grace was actually a meticulously crafted theatrical performance? What if the public outrage was a distraction, a smokescreen designed to hide a truth so explosive it could bring down the most powerful people in the nation? And what if Yu Menglong, the man at the center of it all, wasn't the cunning criminal everyone believes him to be, but a pawn, a sacrificial lamb in a game of political chess played on a board where the pieces are not just reputations, but lives? Get ready, because today, we're not just analyzing the headlines, we're peeling back the layers of a conspiracy that will make you question everything you thought you knew about power, fame, and justice. Welcome to the deep dive, the one you've been waiting for. In this video, we are going to dissect the chilling whispers that have haunted the edges of the Yu Menglong scandal for months, whispers that point to an invisible hand pulling the strings. We'll present the shocking evidence that suggests this was never about tax evasion. It was about a much darker, much more intricate plot. You'll get an exclusive look at the untold story, the secret meetings, the coded messages, and the mind-blowing theories that connect this case to figures so high up, their names are never spoken in public. So stick around, because by the end of this, you'll see the entire Yu Menglong case not as a celebrity scandal, but as the tip of an iceberg of corruption so vast, it will leave you breathless. The public narrative is simple, almost too simple. A beloved actor, a fan favorite, Yu Menglong, falls from grace after being accused of a massive tax evasion scheme. His social media accounts go silent. His shows are scrubbed from streaming platforms. He becomes a ghost. The official report states that he was a financial criminal, exploiting loopholes and hiding millions, a classic story of greed and betrayal. But for those who know where to look, the cracks in this perfect facade are not just visible, they are gaping chasms. Our story begins not in a courthouse or a tax office, but in a dimly lit, nondescript room, somewhere on the outskirts of Beijing. It's not a police interrogation room, but a place far more sinister. The air is thick with the scent of old paper and dust. Yu Menglong, looking nothing like the polished star the world knew, is slumped in a metal chair. The man across from him isn't a cop. He's impeccably dressed, his face a mask of calm indifference. He slides a plain manila folder across the table. This, the man says, his voice a low, chilling whisper, is not about your taxes. The tax investigation was a necessary diversion. This is about what was really in your accounts. And with that single line, the official story disintegrates. This is the moment everything changes. We have to rewind, to understand how a seemingly straightforward financial crime could be a carefully orchestrated ballet of manipulation. A year before his downfall, Yu Menglong was on top of the world. He was the golden boy, a symbol of clean-cut success. At a glamorous gala, he was approached by a man who would become the single most destructive force in his life, Chairman Gao. Gao was a titan of industry, a man whose wealth was so immense, it was whispered he could control entire provinces. He was charming, charismatic, and he offered Yu Menglong a partnership, a series of investment opportunities that would elevate his wealth beyond his wildest dreams. The deal was simple. Yu Menglong would lend his name and public image to a series of shell companies. The financial details would be handled by Gao's experts. Yu Menglong, with his focus on his craft, saw it as a no-brainer. He signed the papers, unknowingly signing away not just his fortune, but his freedom. The first few months were a dream. The money flowed in. He bought a new mansion, a vintage car, and felt invincible. But a nagging unease began to creep in. Strange, encrypted files would appear and disappear from his shared cloud drive. He'd catch glimpses of transaction records that were coded with alphanumeric sequences that made no sense. He asked his business manager, a man vetted by Chairman Gao himself, but was told it was standard practice, a way to protect high-profile clients from prying eyes. But Yu Menglong was a born investigator, a method actor who dove deep into his characters. Driven by instinct, he hired a private, off-the-books IT expert, an old friend from university who owed him a favor. He tasked him with one thing: break the encryption on the files. What the expert found was not tax records. It was a labyrinthine web of money laundering, of black market transactions for rare earth minerals, and, most chillingly, a system of kickbacks to high-ranking government officials. The files weren't just financial documents, they were a ledger of influence. They contained coded names, dates of meetings at anonymous tea houses, and the specific amounts of gifts delivered to men at the very top of the political food chain. The money that flowed through Yu Menglong's accounts wasn't just hidden, it was being used to buy power, to silence dissent, and to fund a shadow network of influence that stretched from the capital to the farthest reaches of the nation. The moment he realized what he was a part of, panic set in. This wasn't a celebrity scandal, it was a matter of national security. He was no longer just a financial criminal, he was an unwitting conspirator. He tried to distance himself, to sever ties with Chairman Gao. But it was too late. He was already in the machine. A tense meeting was arranged in a private penthouse suite overlooking the city skyline. Yu Menglong, heart pounding in his chest, confronted Chairman Gao. "What is this? The money laundering, the officials? I never signed up for this," he stammered, his voice trembling with a mix of fear and fury. Gao didn't flinch. He just smiled, a cruel, knowing smirk. "You think this is about money, Yu Menglong? This is about control. The money is just the grease. You, my friend, were the perfect delivery system. The public loves you. They trust you. Who would ever suspect a national treasure was the conduit for a shadow government?" He explained that the system was built for a single purpose, to undermine a rival faction within the government, a faction led by a revered elder statesman known as the Minister of State. Chairman Gao and his associates were building a parallel power structure, and Yu Menglong's tax evasion was designed to be the final, catastrophic strike. The scandal would be exposed, the evidence would be released, and the public outcry would force the Minister of State's hand, revealing the names of his associates who were supposedly on Gao's payroll, but were in fact not. It was a controlled demolition, a way to take out a rival and frame the fall guy as a celebrity criminal, a story the public would eat up. The true mind-blowing scene is the aftermath of this confession. Yu Menglong didn't just hear the truth, he felt the invisible walls of his prison close in. He tried to leave, to run, to expose everything. The lights in the penthouse flickered and died. The doors automatically locked. From a hidden speaker, a chilling voice, cold and devoid of all emotion, spoke. "Your services are no longer required, Mr. Yu. We have what we need. The show must go on." It wasn't Chairman Gao's voice. It was someone else, someone higher. Someone who had been listening the entire time. The shocking realization hit Yu Menglong with the force of a tidal wave. Chairman Gao, the man he thought was the mastermind, was also a pawn, albeit a more senior one. The true puppet master was a man so powerful, he didn't need a public face. He was the ghost in the machine. The arrest of Yu Menglong that the public saw was not an arrest. It was a rendition. He was taken to a luxurious but isolated compound, a gilded cage designed to be his tomb. He was a prisoner, not of the state, but of the very people he had unwittingly served. His shows were pulled, his accounts erased, not because he was a criminal, but because he was a loose end. The case was closed. The public moved on. But the real game was just beginning. The orchestrated leak of his tax records to the media was meticulously timed to coincide with a critical political conference. The names that were leaked weren't Chairman Gao's allies, but the Minister of State's. The public scandal created the perfect cover for a wave of anti-corruption investigations that conveniently targeted the Minister of State's faction, dismantling their power base in a single, devastating move. The most terrifying part of this entire saga is the end game. Yu Menglong is not in a prison cell. He is alive, but his life has been erased. He is a ghost, a whisper, a casualty of a war he never knew he was fighting. The final scene, one that has been kept completely off the record, is the last known sighting of Yu Menglong. He was seen at a high-security villa, playing chess against himself on a marble table. But as he looked up, his eyes weren't just filled with sadness or regret. They were filled with a terrifying understanding. He wasn't just a pawn. He was the king, and his capture was the signal for the entire game to end. But the real game, the one played by the shadows and the puppet masters, has just begun, and the world is none the wiser. The Yu Menglong case wasn't a story of a star's fall from grace. It was a chilling testament to the fact that for those at the very top, public life is just a stage, and justice is just a script they write for the world to believe.